Are you ready to complete the becoming?
Yes.
Stephen King adaptations are a mixed bag, and the Tommyknockers 1993 sits somewhere in the murky middle, too uneven to be truly effective, yet too strange to entirely dismiss. Based on King's 1987 novel, the two-part TV miniseries aired on ABC and attempts to translate the book's sprawling science fiction horror into a digestible, television-friendly narrative. Set in the fictional town of Haven, Maine, the story follows writer Bobby Anderson, who unearths an alien spacecraft buried in the woods. As the ship emits a strange energy, the townspeople begin to change. Their intelligence spikes, but their personalities vanish, replaced by a hive mind conformity that signals something deeply sinister. It's a compelling premise, steeped in King's trademark blend of small-town paranoia and cosmic horror, but the adaptation struggles to live up to its potential. The performances are one of the few consistently strong elements of the miniseries. Jimmy Smits brings an emotional gravitas to Jim Gardner, an alcoholic poet and Vietnam veteran whose metal plate in his head renders him immune to the alien influence. His vulnerability and increasing desperation give the miniseries its most human moments. Marg Helgenberger also does admirable work as Bobby, slowly unraveling under the ship's psychic grip. Unfortunately, the chemistry between the two leads is undercut by clunky dialogue and expository scenes that rob their relationship of depth. Supporting characters are mostly underdeveloped, functioning as little more than mouthpieces for the escalating weirdness overtaking Haven. Pacing is another significant issue. The first part of the miniseries has a slow burn quality that almost works. There's tension in the air and a feeling that something dreadful is taking root. But once the alien influence kicks in, the show shifts into overdrive, collapsing under the weight of its own ambition. By the time we reach the alien ship in the finale, what could have been a chilling reveal becomes a cheap-looking set piece, failing to deliver any real payoff. The practical effects haven't aged well, and the limited budget is painfully apparent in the alien technology and final showdown, which feel more like an old Doctor Who episode than the climax of a horror epic. What really gets lost in translation from the novel is the subtext. King's allegory for addiction, creativity, and the self-destructive nature of human advancement. In the book, the alien influence is clearly a metaphor for drug use and dependency, with the characters becoming slaves to their enhanced abilities. The TV version glances at this theme but never explores it with any real depth, favoring spectacle over substance. It's disappointing because The Tommyknockers could have been one of King's most psychologically unsettling stories. Instead, it becomes a cautionary tale of how ambition and budgetary limitations can strip a complex narrative down to its least interesting components. In the end, the Tommyknockers miniseries is a fascinating failure, not without merit, but ultimately unable to maintain the tension, thematic weight, or emotional resonance needed to make it memorable. It's a relic of early 90s television horror, ambitious, often awkward, and strangely watchable in spite of its flaws. If you're a Stephen King completist or enjoy retro TV horror, it might be worth a viewing. But for most, it's a reminder of how difficult King's genre-bending work is to adapt successfully. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the Tommyknockers, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Horror Are Us for more in-depth reviews, analysis, and video essays exploring the weird, the eerie, and the downright terrifying corners of horror fiction. Drop a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Was the Tommyknockers an underrated gem or a misfire that deserves to be buried in the woods? Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay haunted.